It's Accountech Bytes, your pocket-sized peek at the progress of accounting tech with me, Tom Herbert. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, if you find this useful, please remember to like, subscribe, or follow. Let's get on with the news. And as regular viewers will know, I tend to hark on about Microsoft Excel being the undisputed champion of accounting tech, 40 years and counting. 40 years and accounting. But change is a constant, and the Redmond-based developer has been dripping its Copilot AI assistant into the product over the last couple of years. Well, this week they've released some new features specifically targeting the finance department. So as it says here, they're introducing skills that lets teams define how Copilot should complete processes like building a discounted cash flow, closing the books, refreshing a monthly reporting model, or preparing a variance analysis. As it says here in CFO Dive, instead of starting from scratch each time, these skills guide Copilot through the steps of whatever you're trying to accomplish, apply what it considers to be the right structure and format, and produce an outcome that's easier to review, reuse, and most importantly, to trust. Obviously, bringing AI to where accountants are might seem like a sensible thing to do if you're desperate for them to pay for Copilot licenses. However, it's not that long ago that in the terms and conditions of Copilot, it stated it was for entertainment use only, shouldn't be relied upon for accurate answers, and it still says that Copilot can make mistakes and should get professional advice before relying on its answers. Or as Tim Turner says here, another thing I don't want, you won't let me switch off. And sticking with the Microsoft theme, Kiwi Cloud Accountants Xero have announced an integration with Microsoft 365. So Just Ask Xero or JAX will enable actions within that Microsoft 365 Copilot area, and customers can use it to ask questions, surface insights, and take action. So asking it questions about who your top customers are, overdrawn invoices, cash flow, etc. Bookkeeping still needs to be up to date. Interesting one here about Excel. So live Xero data will flow directly into your spreadsheets as structured tables. No more import-export fun. And you can also do some neat things with Word and PowerPoint as well. And a second bit of news from Xero, which I think has been on the slate for some time, but good to see it rolled out. It's industry benchmarking intelligence for small businesses. So this benchmark function apparently turns real-time, anonymized and aggregated data from Xero small business customers around the world into comparable performance metrics. So you can measure yourself against your peers in their industry or region. Not sure if you're able to opt out of this or not as a Xero customer, but Xero did tell me that, while customers on all tiers have access to some version of this, the full version will only be available on higher tiers. And we have here a report from Thomson Reuters called The Future of Professionals, which, surprise, surprise, is all about AI. Let's take a quick look at some of the key findings. 74% of professionals now use AI several times a week, but 41% lack access to tools specifically designed for professional work. I had a hunt around the report for the definition of AI, because obviously you have AI in your emails or bank accounts and things, but it seems to be a sort of self-defined thing by the respondents. When organizations move slowly, shadow AI fills the gap. So 34% of professionals use AI tools their organization hasn't sanctioned in ways it can't see. And having an AI strategy produces materially better outcomes. 2/3 of firms and departments with a strategy said that AI is meeting or exceeding expectations, whereas if there's no strategy, that number drops to 22%. Let's hop across the pond now, and the IRS Office of Professional Responsibility issued an alert last week, which had guidelines tax professionals should follow when using generative AI in practice. CPA Practice Advisor has the full text here, while Going Concern has some edited highlights, like the IRS politely suggesting that you don't make up sources, that you need to understand both the law and the technology. In other words, I didn't think the AI would lie is not an appropriate defense if you end up in front of the beak. Now, back in Albion, and the Bank of England is considering introducing an AI kill switch to stop trading bots causing a meltdown in the financial markets. I don't know about you, but I feel really comfortable adopting a technology where regulators are suggesting a kill switch. Now, Masters of the Universe, Gartner have criticised AI vendors' lack of transparency. So Lindsay Clark at the Register reports that developers are facing sharply increased costs from AI coding agents who've shifted from cheaper all-you-can-eat seat-based licensing to consumption-based pricing. Bills in some cases leaping from $20 or $100 to $2,000 or $5,000, actually making these coding agents more expensive than the developers using them. Here's an interesting story from bookkeeping and accounting automation tool Briefcase. Its co-founder Ruben Steenkamp noticed a load of repeat sign-ups coming through their website, similar looking accounts, all self-serve, so creating free accounts, processing hundreds of transactions, and the moment the trial ended, spinning up a new one. 22 accounts in total, thousands of invoices, hundreds of pounds in processing costs, and not a penny earned by Briefcase, with every account tracked back to an outsourcing firm in India. Briefcase has deleted the accounts and reached out to the bad actors to see if they'd like to pay, and has paused self-serve sign-ups while they work out how to stop it happening. I'd take it as a compliment, Ruben. Now, if you are in London on July the 14th or Birmingham July the 16th, why not join the good folks at Zoho and us at Accounting Web for the Connected Practice Summit? So these are half-day events designed specifically for accounting and bookkeeping professionals, where we're going to be talking about things like practice automation, making tax digital, and of course, AI. We've got some fantastic speakers. So if you're interested in signing up, there's a link in the description. Let's move on to MTD Corner now, and happy MTD Live Filing Day for yesterday. Friend of the show, Robin Milstead from LKA and Accountants Therapy popped up on LinkedIn to wish everyone the best of luck. Unfortunately, from the looks of things, it didn't go terribly well, with many Accounting Web forum users encountering the "sorry, there is a problem with this service" message. Still, day one, the only way is up. Speaking of Accountants Therapy, I was lucky enough to be invited onto their podcast, the Just One Click, where I chatted to Robin and Tom Bickle about my ludicrous career, my time in China, and my children's refusal to eat with cutlery. So you can check that out wherever you get your pods. The AAT taking a swing at MTD here. They're saying it's time to weigh in. Is HMRC asking for too much too soon? So they have a poll on their LinkedIn page. Should HMRC delay quarterly filing deadlines for MTD? Let's have a look at these results. 2/3 majority saying yes, delay it. 35% saying no. I'm quite surprised it's that high. So People News Now and practice management software Sodium has appointed friend of the show Marcus Batsom as its head of customer success. Marcus comes from anti-money laundering tool Zama. Congratulations, Marcus. So let's buzz straight through to the new stuff section now, and a plethora of updates from Dext. So in its MTD product Dext Solo, you can now apply bank rules across multiple accounts. So multi-select in matching criteria lets you assign a rule to one or more accounts or leave it unassigned to apply it globally. No more creating identical rules for each bank account separately. In its Dext payment system, you can now top up your Dext wallet directly within Dext payments using open banking on desktop or mobile. Currently available to UK customers using Xero. And its cloud storage solution, Dext Vault, now connects directly to existing cloud storage, so you can link your Dropbox, Google Drive, or OneDrive account, and your accounts stay in sync automatically. As it says here, no more managing duplicates across multiple systems. And more generally, we have single sign-on, so you can now sign up to Dext using your Microsoft account, whether you're creating a new account or accepting an invitation. So no password to create or remember, just continue with your existing Microsoft credentials. Consolidation tool Join has launched a new partner program, which gives accountants, finance professionals, and software resellers ways to work alongside the platform, earn commission and rewards by doing so. Now, this looks interesting. Fractional CFO and friend of the show, Kevin Steele, has launched Inflective, an advanced FP&A and forecasting app built by a CFO. Kevin, That gives the flexibility to forecast any way you want. Here's the site. As it says, you can build P&L, balance sheet, and cash flow models from your accounting data. I mentioned Sodium in the people section. They also have a couple of new releases, so forms that adapt to what you already know. So pre-populated from the client record. There's now a button to see a preview of a form exactly as the client would see it. You can choose your own columns on clients and tabs, and you have more control over recurring tasks. Our proposals, pricing, and client onboarding platform Socket has launched some new tools to capture more leads and improve the client journey. And let's combine those last two items because Socket and Sodium have announced an integration. So if you win a proposal in Socket, you can then run it in Sodium. So bring in the client, everything they agreed goes straight into Sodium. You can import clients with data from company's house and switch on billing in Sodium, and a signed proposal becomes a billable client. Big Green Geordie accounting machine Sage has announced an expanded partnership with invoice finance tool Satago. So Satago will embed Sage's accounting technology into its invoice finance platform, giving banks and lenders access to structured, real-time financial data for smaller businesses where that data has been historically hard to obtain. Sage continues to expand on the embedded accounting tech front. Collections tool Go Cardless has announced a partnership with Sequence to launch native direct debit integration for growing businesses. So they're a new one on me, but Sequence is an AI billing and quote-to-cash platform. So the partnership will enable businesses to automate payment collections across one-off invoices and recurring billing schedules without leaving their billing engine. And that's your lot for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, if you'd be kind enough to like, subscribe, or follow, I'd be eternally grateful. I'm away in Iceland next week, so I am missing out on ZeroCon. Apologies to all. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another video. Until then, bye for now.